Hello, and welcome to the live Monday music motivation. It looks like we're live. Let me just double check everything's working. Doing some new, different technology stuff. That's always a little tricky to make sure everything's in good shape. But it looks like we're good. We are live. We are here. We are going. Fantastic. Let's see. Today we're going to be talking about this idea of always being learning and how to get the most out of learning and how to make sure that we're actually growing and improving, because that's one of the most important things that we need to be doing as clarinetists and as musicians, is getting better, right? Quick tangent, was not planned at all, but I think it's an important idea, is that on the clarinet and musical path and journey, there really is an infinite skill ceiling. You're never going to hit a point where you're like, oh, I'm perfect, I'm great, I don't need to practice anymore, I've achieved, I've completed playing the clarinet. That's not something that happens. We can complete schooling, we can complete degrees, we can complete assignments, we can complete projects where it's like, it's done, there it is. That doesn't happen with clarinet playing or any instrument, any musical journey. Yes, you can complete recitals, you can learn pieces, you can learn new techniques, but those pieces could always be refined further. Your performances could be always more perfect. Your techniques, whatever new techniques you're learning, could always be improved. So it's an infinite ceiling for where you're going. So it becomes really important for one to continue searching for that next level and continue refining and developing things, and two, to enjoy growing and get the pleasure of clarinet playing. The joy of practicing comes from practicing. It's not from achieving, because again, there's always going to be the next thing to achieve. So if that's all you're here for, you're going to burn out really quickly because you're never going to be done with it. But if you enjoy growing and enjoy getting better, it's going to make a world of difference. And that's what the topic today is about, is to always be learning, always be exploring, always be thinking about new ways to do things, learning new ways to do things, learning new things to be doing, all of that good stuff. And last week we did the Rhythm Challenge to Rhythm Talent workshops. Super fun. I went live every day, Monday through Saturday last week, with some rhythm tips and sort of setting the foundation and the mindset and the knowledge for rhythm. And I think if you were there for those, that's a great example of always be learning. Sure, some of that stuff was review, but some of that stuff was probably new and new things that you learned. If you didn't catch those live last week, that's totally fine. I have a playlist here on the Quick Start Clarinet YouTube channel called Rhythm Challenged to Rhythm Talent. So you can check out that playlist here on the Quick Start Clarinet YouTube and rewatch all of them and get that new information. So that's learning. You're getting new information in there. You're learning new things. But there's another really important part to learning and getting new information. You can't just get the information and pretend you're going to absorb it. Kids can do that. Kids are fantastic at just absorbing new information because that's how their brains are designed. But if you're pretty much older than the age of 12, then you're probably not designed to absorb new information and integrate it and really learn it. You're designed to get more efficient at what you're already doing. So if you're struggling to play with the metronome, your brain's good at that already, and it wants to be more efficient at that. So it takes a little more work, if you're not a young child, to shift the way you're thinking, change your habits, and actually integrate new information. So that's another really, really important part of always be learning. It's not just always be exposing ourselves to new information, because as we're adults, we're just going to be putting that new information into the context and frameworks that we already know. But we need to be actually looking at that new information and then changing our habits and making a difference. So that was the big key for today, I think, is just remember that. Because we have this infinite skill ceiling and we can always be refining further and getting better, you need to fall in love with that process And the way to continue getting better and see growth from it is to actually integrate and actually implement the things that you're being exposed to and the new information that you're seeing. So a perfect example of that is the rhythm challenge to rhythm talent stuff from last week. There were lots of good exercises. I put my best stuff into that for free for everybody. And if you take that information and you do your subdivisions exercise and actually get in there and make a difference, then you're going to get better. You're going to notice that it's making a difference in your playing and that you're progressing. But if you just watch those videos now or watched them last week and you don't do anything about it, then you're going to be like, in the moment watching them, oh yeah, this is some interesting stuff. And then in about a month from now, you're not going to remember any of it and you're not going to be doing any of it or applying any of it to your playing. So I really encourage you to be implementing that new knowledge that we got last week. As you're learning new things and getting exposed to new information, always be implementing it and integrating it into your actions and what you're actually doing as well. A great way to do that also for the rhythm stuff specifically last week would be to get True Rhythm Mastery. That's the whole course that goes much deeper. There's a whole implementation guide with that, and that's the whole purpose of the implementation guide, is to be having you doing the work, getting in there, letting it soak in through doing it in your actions. That was a big part of the design of the course, was not just to put out a bunch of good rhythm information, but to actually make it something that you get in there and actually make a difference in your rhythm playing, and something that you integrate long term so that you can grow to that next level and then keep finding those continuous levels to get to. So go to quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm if you want to commit to your rhythm stuff that we started last week and really get that. And the other important action item from the Monday Music Motivation every time is to fill out your template. The template, I haven't filled out mine yet this week, but I'm going to do that right now once we're done. But it's very simple. Date for the week, reflection on how things are going, goal for what you want to accomplish this week, and your plan for when you're going to actually do it. And you can see how this template follows that idea of, we're reflecting on the information that we gathered from our own experience last week. We're setting goals based on that information, so we have a target that we're aiming for this week, and then we're making a plan for when we're actually going to take the action and actually do the work. So this is exactly following this framework of, we're learning, we're implementing, we're growing. So right when this is done, go do that. Fill out your template so you have a plan for when you're going to grow this week in your clarinet and music journeys. And go to quickstartclarinet.com/rhythm to learn more about True Rhythm Mastery if you really want to commit to actually implementing and actually integrating all the great rhythm work we did last week. So that's all for today. Go fill out your template, go learn more about True Rhythm Mastery, and I'll see you next week. Bye.